Long ago, in the heart of the Emerald Kingdom, there was a castle perched atop a hill, surrounded by gardens that shimmered with silver morning dew. The air always smelled of jasmine and roses, and the sound of singing birds carried through every hallway. In this castle lived Princess Evelynn, a young girl with hair like spun gold and eyes as green as the first leaves of spring. She loved nothing more than to explore the forests, meadows, and streams that stretched far beyond the castle walls. But Evelynn had a secret. She could hear things no one else could. It wasn't voices of people, nor the wind whispering through the trees. Evelynn could hear the whispers of the creatures of the forest. Birds, foxes, even the flowers seemed to speak to her, if only she listened closely enough. And there was one voice she heard most often, the gentle coo of a small white dove that would appear at her window at dawn. Every day, the dove seemed to know her heart better than anyone, guiding her toward something unknown, something magical. One morning, as the sun painted the sky in shades of pink and gold, the whispering dove fluttered to Evelynn's windowsill. "Princess," it cooed softly, "the kingdom needs you." Evelynn blinked, startled. The dove had never spoken so clearly before. "Needs me? But how?" "I'm just a princess," she whispered, her voice trembling. "The forest is not as it once was," the dove replied. "A shadow has fallen across the northern woods, and the trees whisper only in fear. You must find the Crystal Glade and restore the song of the forest, or all will be lost." Evelynn's heart raced. Adventure had always called to her, but this was different. This was urgent. She knew she could not ignore the dove's message. Gathering her cloak, a small satchel of supplies, and the courage she didn't know she had, Evelynn set out on the path that led to the northern woods. The forest greeted her with a strange stillness. Birds sat silently on the branches, and even the stream seemed to murmur quietly, as if holding its breath. As Evelynn walked deeper into the woods, she noticed a faint trail of sparkling dust winding between the trees. It glimmered like moonlight on water. She followed it carefully, feeling a mixture of excitement and fear. Suddenly a soft voice whispered, "Do not be afraid, Evelynn. You are stronger than you know." Evelynn looked around but saw no one. Then, out of the shadows, a fox with fur as red as autumn leaves appeared. "I am Roran," it said. "I will guide you through the woods. Danger comes in many forms, and you cannot face it alone." Evelynn nodded. Together they navigated twisted routes, hidden streams, and dark hollows where shadows moved as though alive. Each step seemed heavier than the last, but the whispering dove always appeared, guiding her onward. As the sun began to sink low, Evelynn and Roran reached a clearing filled with silver thorns. The branches shimmered in the fading light, but each thorn glowed with a faint, eerie red. "This is the Thorn of Silence," Roran warned. "It will stop anyone who dares pass from speaking or hearing anything. You must be careful." Evelynn took a deep breath, holding the dove close to her heart. She stepped forward, carefully lifting her feet over the thorny ground. At first, the silence was deafening. Even her own heartbeat seemed loud in her ears. Then she remembered the dove's whispers. "Listen with your heart, not your ears," it said. Closing her eyes, Evelynn focused on the rhythm of the forest, the gentle rustle of leaves, the subtle warmth of the sunlight on her skin. Slowly, the thorns parted as if recognizing her courage, and she stepped through unharmed. At the edge of the clearing, Evelynn saw a dark shape moving between the trees. Shadows danced unnaturally, and the air felt heavy. "Who are you?" Evelynn called, trying to steady her voice. A figure emerged, cloaked in black, eyes like cold embers. "I am Malrith, guardian of the Crystal Glade," the figure said, "and I will not let anyone disturb the balance of the forest." Evelynn felt fear creep into her heart, but she remembered the dove's words. "I am not here to take Malrith. I am here to restore what has been lost. The forest suffers and it calls for help." For a long moment, Malrith studied her. Then, without a word, he stepped aside. "The path is yours, but beware. The greatest trial awaits at the heart of the Glade." Finally, Evelynn reached a hidden valley where the trees formed a natural cathedral, and in its center, a pool of crystal-clear water reflected the sky. The glade shimmered with a soft silver light, and the air was filled with the sound of 1,000 whispers. At the edge of the pool lay the crystal of song, dim and flickering. Evelynn knelt, gently placing her hands on its surface. She closed her eyes and sang, not with her voice but with her heart, letting the love she held for her kingdom flow into the crystal. Slowly, the crystal began to glow, brighter and brighter, until the entire glade was bathed in light. Birds returned, their songs weaving through the air, and flowers bloomed as if touched by magic itself. The shadow that had hung over the forest lifted, and Evelynn knew her journey was successful. Evelynn returned to the castle, the whispering dove perched on her shoulder. The people of the kingdom greeted her with joy, and even the king and queen marveled at her bravery. The forest flourished once more, and the whispers of nature were heard throughout the land. Evelynn had learned that courage, kindness, and listening with your heart could overcome even the darkest of shadows. And the dove? It stayed with her. A constant reminder that even the smallest voices could guide the way to greatness. Princess Evelynn's tale reminds us that true strength comes not from power, but from compassion. By listening, by believing in ourselves, and by facing our fears, we can bring light to the darkest places and restore harmony where it is lost. And sometimes, if we are quiet enough, we might just hear the whispers that guide us toward our destiny.